Boom, and we're live.
That we are. What is going on, everyone? Welcome into the Voice of College Football After Dark show right here on the main channel. You could be anywhere else, but thank you for being right here. So please go ahead, hit that like button. It helps the video out a lot. Ignore this. It's not doing anything. It's here for looks. My soundboard took a shit earlier, like 10 minutes before the show. So hopefully the audio is good on everyone's end. And we're going to do the best we can to make this work and be viewable for you. Oh, how are you all doing tonight? We got Jackson and Sean as usual.
Oh, we're doing pretty good. How are you doing tonight, Ben?
Doing just fine. Oh, God, no, there's a troll in the background. I'm not doing this. I don't, sir, I need verification that we know who you are. Please hold up the USC sucks sign.
Oh,
all right,
man.
He confirmed he's real. He confirmed he's real.
Hey, what's up, Tim? How you doing tonight?
Sue me. I can't.
Who did I just chase off?
My soundboard's dead.
Oh, man.
Who just ran away?
It's Sean. He's back. He's on his.
Hang on.
Tonight. We just having audio issues all over this place tonight. Everyone in the chat, how are you guys doing today? How was your weekend? Let us know in the chat.
Oh, it's going pretty good.
Is Tim alive?
Oh, what the hell? Are you guys live? I didn't know you guys were going live this quick.
Yeah,
what's up, gentlemen? What do you get? So what's the topic tonight?
What's the topic? The title of the video at the top there.
Yeah. Of
the StreamYard.
I was just popping in to say hi to you guys pre-show. I didn't know you guys were actually live when I popped in.
It literally just like 10 seconds before you popped in, we went live. Well, while you're here, Tim, how did you feel about your spring game? Because what we were going to talk about was the spring games and kind of like the importance of them. You know, can you really evaluate and take a lot away from them? You know, that kind of thing.
Well, you nailed it. I don't think there's really much you can take away from spring game except for just seeing the size, right? Quickness, seeing the athletic ability of some of the newcomers to the team. But other than that, I mean, it's so vanilla, like the play calling, you know, that both teams have seen each other for a month. So they you know, you see the secondary knows the routes, quarterback know the coverages. It's just, you know, it's not really a real indication of how good either the offense or defense is going to be. But if you're looking at individual players, if you're looking at true freshmen or soft, you know, or guys coming in, redshirt freshmen that didn't get a lot of playing time, you just want to see how they look off the hoof. You know, it's entertaining. It's fun to watch. But yeah, I think it's just every year. You can't take too much from a spring game because, you know, USC, we used to have all these spring game heroes, and then you don't see them again ever, like literally ever again. Like everyone gets hyped up. Oh, look, yeah, like 5 catches for 85 yards, and then the guy's never literally ever heard of again. So
yeah, and I mean, like they're taking reps with this guys. You don't even know like the quality of the guys they're going up against. And they look like a monster. You know, an edge rusher may look like a monster, but he's going up against a walk-on right tackle or something like that. So it you know, you have to get pretty deep in the weeds to take anything from any individual performance in a spring game.
And each team, the coaching staff does the spring game a little differently, how they like to plug and play players too. So that's it. You might have a first stringer against a walk-on. You know, you don't know exactly. There's so many new names too most of the time. Like I half the names I heard yesterday, I was like, who? They were so deep in the depth chart. You were really like, who? Yes, Ralph. Rest off. I'm in a yellow submarine somewhere. That's
the key takeaway I had is because we have a whole new defense, right? Again, we're not seeing the actual defense, but you do get to see formations. You do get to see just kind of a vanilla snapshot of what the defense looks like. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it wasn't really anything special to watch. You know, it was very boring. The goal is really in spring is to get through spring without injuries. I mean, fans want to see the spring game. Coaches just want to get through without any injuries. And for the most part, USC was lucky and they got through without injury. Major injury.
So what do you think? What did you take away from your chat? And also in the chat, let us know what you guys thought of your team's spring game. Obviously, I think most of us probably could not sit and watch every spring game. So Jackson, starting with you, like, what did you take away from your team's spring game from the Alabama?
I'll be honest, it was hard to believe that this is the first spring without Coach Saban since the 2006 season. It's just like it's kind of just sunk in that, wow, Coach Saban's not there. But Coach DeBoer's doing a pretty good job, although the QB situation, like behind Milrose, just kind of wait and see mode. I mean, our running back situations are our strength, obviously. I mean, but you know, just curious about our O-line, especially with what's been going on in the transfer portal. So we're on wait and see mode about that. But I think honestly, I can definitely get more of an evaluation when it gets to the summertime.
Yeah, because you don't even know who your whole entire roster is at this point. Really?
I know some of it, but I know that we lost one of our own linemen to the transfer portal, and I know that yeah, it was just like, holy crap, one of our guys left, but everybody's leaving here and there.
But I'm assuming it's nobody was probably even in the two deep. So I mean, right? It wasn't someone you were. The people that left Alabama, huh?
It was starting O lineman, as a matter of fact.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it's like, well, I mean, if you think Bama's the best for you, that's great. If you don't feel like Bama's best for you, I'm sorry to see you go. I wish you nothing but awesomeness, but I'll be pulling against you when we play you.
Did Alabama pull in a tackle that probably going to beat them out in the spring? I mean, because usually starting linemen don't leave.
Yeah. Proctor needs to have a decent jump freshman to sophomore. It's our buddy Ralph Wolf.
He just has to stay. He has to unpack his luggage. What that guy's got to do. That's all. That should be the goal for the summers, to make sure that he doesn't have his luggage. His luggage needs to go to storage, and make sure he stays on campus. I think that would be a healthy goal for that kid for the summertime.
What about you, Sean? What did you take away from the Ohio State game?
This was it was kind of interesting. I liked the way Ohio State structured their spring game. You basically got a lot of ones versus ones action. It was offense versus defense scoring in the game, and when the ones were on the field, I thought the defense was a stronger unit, but that's not to be shouldn't be a surprise. This is, you know, they're in the short list for best defense in America this year. Saw some really competitive with Burke and Hancock and Nelson and Abuka, JJ, and Tate in there, and none of the quarterbacks really distinguished themselves in this game. I don't think the structure allowed any of them to get any sort of rhythm. And that's one thing you got to keep about these spring games, is that they're getting so many different reps. I mean, it doesn't play a real game atmosphere at all. One disappointment was the performance of true freshman Julian Stan at quarterback. I was expecting him to be a little sharper already. I thought there was a fairly good chance they could compete for the number 2 position this year, and eventually maybe even become the number 1 at some point down the line, or at least be a very capable backup. But he did not have a great spring game at all, so that was a disappointment. But I mean, I saw a lot of big, strong, fast dudes playing pretty hard. I mean, they actually didn't tackle in the game, so that's a little boring. That takes away a lot of the fun atmosphere from it. But I mean, I don't put almost anything into the spring game. I care a lot more about like the reports I'm hearing from spring practice than I do anything that happens in the game. So
I'm really interested to see, and we wouldn't have seen it in your spring game, but it's going to be really interesting to see the impact that Chip Kelly has on that offense and what it looks like, especially with all with the running backs, with Henderson coming back. And
oh yeah,
I was calling Boykins for some unknown reason. Judkins, right?
Judkins, yeah.
Judkins, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so that's gonna be the interesting thing. I think that's gonna evolve, and then if you guys can find a quarterback, that's gonna be the key. But I think with Howard and with Chip Kelly coming in there, I think your guys' run game is gonna be just disgusting. I think it's gonna be like almost unstoppable. That's gonna be my guess.
I mean, he has so many toys to play with, and
yeah,
if you remember his freshman year, Ibuka was used a lot on end rounds and in the running game, and it'd be nice to see see how Kelly uses him as a weapon in that capacity. I think he, if you include him in the option game, if you can find some ways to get both Judkins and Henderson on the field at some time, I mean, they can present a lot of problems for opposing defenses, just unsolvable problems.
And I'm assuming your offensive line, veteran offensive line, any issues on your O line?
Yeah, it's one of the weaker units on the team, but I think Simmons is a capable The left side is capable 100%. Carson Heisman is probably going to be back at center, and then there's just going to be they got to figure out the right side a little bit. I'm pretty sure Fryer is moving into guard, and Luke Montgomery, sophomore, will be starting at tackle on that side, and that is a potential wart on the team for sure. But maybe better scheming, better play calling, and a more mobile quarterback will mitigate any issues there.
What about you, Tim? What did you see for I don't know why I keep looking at this mic. It's not doing anything. It's not even on. The soundboard is dead. I keep looking at it out of habit. Anyways, that's better. Yeah. No, my soundboard's dead. I don't know why. It turns on, turns right off. So I'm like, okay. What did you take away from the USC game?
Really, I mean, like, not really a whole lot. Yeah, we saw what we expected. I was impressed with Maeva's arm. Got his, big, strong, the transfer from UNLV, but you could tell, and you heard from right after the game during the press conference, someone asked him, about it. He said, "Look, if we had a game tomorrow, it's gonna be Miller. It's not, Maeva, Jane, he's coming along, but he's not there yet. He's not ready to play. And you got a guy like Norman Moss who's been in the system for three springs now. So I mean, he's gonna have the advantage going into the fall. But it'd be interesting to see because he's I said, I'm talking about you see the guys coming on, off the bus and on the hoof. He's a big, fast, a couple design run plays for him. Look quick. Defense, a lot of the ones that was thudding, it wasn't tackling. So they had a bunch of guys dinged up, so they didn't want to do live tackling for the ones. The rest of the guys were, but the ones were not doing tackling. So yeah, not much to see. It was a very uneventful game. Although I'll tell you that the receivers look sick. The receivers at SC, which used to be our running backs, but recently, past decades, been our receivers. The receivers look absolutely insane. It's just the depth beyond belief, and they just picked up the kid from Auburn today. So I mean, it's just another piece to it.
And speaking of like O-line issues, is the right side of your O-line is that still an area of concern?
It looked really good, but I'm not gonna give them a passing grade yet because Bear Alexander wasn't playing. We just lost Isaiah Rakes to the portal. So I mean, defensive line wise, they did hold up really well. I do think we have some like elite pass rushers. Like you guys get to know Cameron Fountain. He's a true freshman out of Georgia. He's pretty damn good. But I'm gonna reserve judgment to the fall because yeah, they looked great, but who are they going up against on the inside of the defensive line? So who knows?
I was looking at the Heisman odds just now from FanDuel, and Miller Moss is at plus 4,000. Now,
that's not a bad bet.
Yeah.
I might sprinkle or something. I don't know.
Anybody willing to gamble on Miller Moss winning the Heisman for 2024?
If I'm getting 401, yeah, I will do that. I mean, like they have turned out so many. I mean, I think it's just almost certainly not going to hit. Like he's not going to win the Heisman, but I mean, the Lincoln Riley offense, you just don't know. I mean.
Yeah, I'm never going to count out a Lincoln Riley quarterback. I mean, but I think he's going to? But I think he's going to win. No, I don't. I don't think USC is probably going to have the season he would need in order to win the Heisman, because the Heisman's it's a beauty pageant a lot of times, right? And so it's good. It's not going to go. And let's face it, I like Miller a lot. Miller's really good, but Miller's not going to have those plays that are just going to like wow people, like Jaden Daniels had or Caleb Williams had, the past couple of years. He's going to be just that pocket quarterback that's going to deliver the ball. So I don't think he has the flash. He might have the numbers, but I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think that he's going to have that Heisman plays. Who knows? For me to say this is hard because I have no idea. But I mean, I'm saying that he's not the kind of guy that's going to be on, impress people with one player there. But the way he played in the Louisville game, he threw 2 interceptions in the spring game. By the way, he kind of came down to earth. But the Louisville game was really good. It was amazing the way he ran the offense for a guy just stepping in. And it was a makeshift line with some of our younger offensive linemen, and they just made it work. So it'll depend a lot again, also on how good is the Big Ten this year. Yes, I am a hater. I hate those Trojans.
Well, that's the thing with
damn
Trojans.
Trojans.
I know it's the same thing. Yeah, the Louisville game, he looked great. But going into the Big Ten now with a different roster a lot, we don't know how good some of those teams are going to be. It's different environment, atmosphere. I mean, it's the same for Oregon. You just don't know what's going to be happening for the next.
I just wonder where $40 on a plus 4,000 money line bet will take you. Like from April right now to the start of May to, let's say, Heisman week.
Well, I mean, it's going to be what, 16? Will that be 16? What was the odds? Plus 4,000?
Plus 4,000.
4,000. So it's 40. It's 40 to 1. Then it would be $20. It would be $800.
$800. $40 should be $1,600. Yep.
Yeah.
Where does 6 get you? Oh, $2,400. Nice.
I'm not a hater, and I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying it's even like his odds are that long to do it. If this offense is the way I think it is, and if the defense gets better like we think it should be, then he has a solid chance. I mean, I like those odds compared to his. I think the odds are definitely it's worth it. But long shot bets is not the way to go. I mean, if you got $40 to burn, go ahead, throw that thing down. Have a little bit of fun. But I mean, it's not something you need. I hope you're not planning on paying your rent with that.
I was so close to hitting a 36-1 parlay on the draft this weekend. I just needed Jerzon Newton to go in the first round. And did not hit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. With the spring games, and most of the people in here agree. I mean, look, and every team does their spring games differently. Do you know how many people on the stream I was watching? I had, speaking of Roger Dodgers, speaking of Colorado, they were coming in halfway through the stream going, "This is boring. Look at Colorado." And we're like, "Yeah, it says you have no defense still." That's what their spring game told me. But alas, we don't have to worry about Colorado for a while. Oregon does theirs a little bit different. Yeah, exactly. Oregon does theirs a little bit differently, where they actually have like team 1, team 2, but then they mix them. So you might have like on the O line, starter, third string, fourth string, starter, second string, and they mix it up because they want to see who battles what. So Gabriel threw high. He's only had 14 practices in the system. Of course, he's going to throw a little high. He moves in the pocket. So did the D line win? Did the O line lose or win or decide? All I took away from Oregon's spring game was the receivers looked really good. The DBs had tight coverage no matter what. And the D2 running back, we got Jay Harris, who's like 6'2", 210, 215, is going to be an absolute monster. That guy was just running over people, and how he fell to the D2 originally, Division 2, I have no idea. But that man is the size of Saquon Barkley, basically. That's the comparison size-wise. Saquon Barkley.
So
he's going to be
he came all the way from he came from a D2 program. Where at?
He was Northwestern Missouri State.
Okay.
The coach had ties to Lanning, gave him a call and said, "Hey, there's this guy here." He won basically the National Player of the Year for Division 2 last year. So he gave Lanning a call and said, "Hey, I got this guy you might be interested in." And Oregon picked him up immediately, and he does not disappoint immediately in the spring game.
Yeah, quick trivia question. Does anyone know what the Heisman for D2's name, the trophy title name?
Is it the Garner Trophy?
It is. It's absolutely.
No. I mean, are you?
I really don't know.
Is it?
No, I say that. Yeah, I was saying it's a Harlan Hill Trophy.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait,
grew up.
Shitting me?
No. I learned that when I was in high school. A guy from my high school actually won that trophy. Kurt Ains, the great quarterback at Grand Valley State, back in like 2004, I want to say.
GVSU, that's in Grand Rapids. Right?
Just outside. It's in Allendale. Although it's kind of a split campus now. It's like half downtown in Allendale. But yep.
But yeah, for everyone here, Oregon spring game, it's exciting for the fans. It's a great time to go out there. You get to see all these different players. Again, half the people I heard on that field, I was like, who? But you get to see a bunch of the different talent that you have, maybe that have been a walk-on, like one of our quarterbacks, or the third-string quarterback, and you get to see a growth immediately, like Dante Moore. Tim knows probably more about Dante Moore than I've known. He was like 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. In the spring game yesterday, he was like this. Don't put the ball at risk. Do what you're supposed to do. Distribute the ball accurately and get it out of here. And I was like, I already see some growth from him. But it's Dylan Gabriel's game. But Novosad, our third string, he looks really good too. So I was like, that quarterback room is deep. I will say that. It looks pretty solid.
Well, I think it takes a degree of maturity for someone like Dante Moore, who came in with all the ballyhoos you can imagine, struggle and then realize, wait, I need to take a step back and I need to, learn behind a veteran. I need to, not just chase the biggest bag and
okay. Now, can we all chill out on the he got a hell of a payday to go up to Eugene, sit back and learn. True, I get you. So what a great way to do it. Go up, make probably 6 figures at least, and sit back there. Yeah.
When he decommitted from Oregon the first time to go to UCLA, one, it was the potential of the Big Ten money because Oregon wasn't there yet. 2, he wanted to play right away. He was going to sit behind Nix. But now to then go after Dylan Gabriel committed and still go, you know what, I'm fine. I will sit and learn. Yes, of course money has something to do with it. But I do think it does have to do with maturity, too, of him going, you know what, that was rough. Maybe I am not quite where I need to be a starter, and sees the potential of learning and stuff. So from
where I'm looking at it, I kind of feel like UCLA is a fate worse than hell the way they are right now.
Oh,
yes. that is not.
You don't believe the Deshaun Foster era? You don't believe the Deshaun Foster era of Bruin football is going to bring them back from the brink?
That man is a sacrificial lamb.
Exactly. He's like what was he's like a shim. You know what I mean? They're about to put the window in, but he's going to be the finished product. He's just in there to hold a place. That's all that guy's doing right now.
That poor guy too. That poor guy. Yeah, he's not in a good spot. And maybe he's.
Tim, are you doing routine wellness checks on Chris right now? He seemed pretty despondent.
I think Chris will be fine. He's got basketball to fall back on. I know the Bruins didn't have the season that they thought, but UCLA is a basketball school. They'll be fine. He'll be happy with the basketball team, and eventually, I've been saying this for a while. I like to tease the Bruins, but there's not name an advantage that USC has that the Bruins don't. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't that long ago that you had some of the better players. Bob Toledo. When Bob Toledo was there, he was recruiting very well, and it can happen at UCLA. One of the big reasons why the Pac-12 went to shit was, yes, USC was not holding up their end of the bargain, but schools like UCLA, which throughout the Pac-12 history, Pac-10 history, has been a solid program, just went to complete crap. And you just need the right coach at UCLA, and they could be very quickly the right. And that's what I meant about my comment about the shim being Foster, is they're going to get someone with that Big Ten money. They're going to attract a coach. I cannot believe, I don't know how, and I know Chris feels the same way, how they let Jonathan Smith somehow get away through that whole process. Chip, I'll tell you why. Chip Kelly screwed him. Chip Kelly screwed them. That's really what happened, because I'll bet you right now, Jonathan Smith at UCLA, we're all talking a different story.
I mean, I'll be honest though, if you go from beating USC to the week before rivalry week to just having your ass flat out handed to you by Cal on late night, you gotta go, especially if you're Chip Kelly. Why UCLA just didn't tell him, okay, you're fired that next day? I don't know. It was just a bad move, just keeping him for a little while longer.
Yeah, after that UCLA loss, sport was dead for me for a while, so I didn't really watch too much of that UCLA Cal game. But what I will tell you, what I will say is that I have no doubt in my mind that Chip Kelly spent about 10 months planning and getting ready for that USC game, and it was a big win for them, and they're probably mostly high as hell. And there you go. That's a classic letdown game against Cal.
Cal of all people, yeah.
Cal's as big of a rival for UCLA as USC too, right?
No, Sean. No. That's like me saying Purdue's about as big a rival for Ohio State as Michigan, dude. Come on.
Well, they've beaten us just about as much over the last 20 years as Michigan has. So,
but they're not in the same city. And
I know.
Cal, as great as
joke.
Cal is, as great as Cal academically is, and as great as the individual players they put out, it's outside those that stupid SEC guy didn't realize Tedford year had some really, really good teams, like really good. I mean,
oh yeah.
Anyway, and the fact is what's funny is that you don't realize that Cal they just can't put teams together. They have phenomenal players that come through there all the time on both sides of the ball, and just for whatever reason they just can't put it all together to have a finished product. Because what is the record in that UCLA versus Cal over the past, like, let's say 30 years? I bet you it's not that big of a deal, really. And I bet you the average Cal fan, sure, I guess because they didn't get accepted to one or the other school, they might be angry or something. I don't know, but I don't think there's that much animus within the UC system. I don't know. See, we should ask Chris that question. He could tell us.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I just realized that.
All I know, I don't care about Cal or UCLA. All I know is Oregon had a 49-yard field goal made yesterday. And I'm very happy to see that. God damn. Finally, maybe we have a kicker, and that's not even the 5-star kicker. That wasn't the Oregon State transfer. That was the freshman kicker, I think. So let's go. Oregon needs a kicker. Tim knows that. Maldonado lost us a game against USC in 2011.
Jeez, you're going way back.
Oh yeah. No. That guy's an evil lore in Oregon history for failed kickers.
Yeah, good old kickers.
They're people too, damn it.
We don't have a rundown, do we? We're just shooting the shit, aren't we?
Oh, we're just shooting the shit. We are literally just straight up like,
well,
I was looking at like draft time.
Well, we definitely know kickers are people, especially at Bama, because like we got that Lou Graza winner from 2023 from Miami, Ohio. So it's like,
and your kicker drafted this weekend as well, right?
yeah, the Vikings got him, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State knows all about kickers, right? Right, Sean?
Well, we had Nuge from Centerville, Ohio, about 20 years ago. I don't know.
I was thinking more recent.
You're thinking more like
I don't know, 2 years ago.
The midnight from 2022 to 2023.
Sean, do you have a backup mic?
Backup? No,
Yeah.
I'm on my phone right now. Is there a problem?
It's pretty rough. Your mic's pretty it's pretty choppy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's doing like little robots. Like,
There are times where you're like extremely clear, and then other times where we're like, I think he said a paragraph. I'm not sure. There are times.
Oh, I can we find right now?
I'm hearing every other word.
I love always technical difficulties. Always technical difficulties around here.
So, guys, how you doing?
Yeah,
oh, we're great. How are you?
I just dropped in. Literally, I swear, I came in to just shoot the stuff with you guys before the show. I didn't realize that you guys had just gone live.
Literally, again, 30 seconds before you popped up. We had just clicked live.
Well, it says Sean's mic's not working. Let's make fun of Ohio State. Mark's not here. Sean's mic's not working. It'd be a great opportunity.
Do not summon Mark. You know he's lurking somewhere. You know Mark is lurking.
Oh, look, his camera works. Look.
But speaking of Mark, tune in every Monday through Thursday, every morning at 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Pacific time for Wake Up College Football right here at the Voice of College Football, where you can get some of the latest stories on what's going on in the world of college football. And you can also check out some of the yummy breakfast recipes with your recommendations. Stay tuned.
So what, Mark's doing a cooking show in the morning?
Isn't that just him cooking HelloFresh in the microwave?
I don't know. It's too damn early in the morning for me. What is it, like 5 a.m. on the West Coast?
That's what I'm like. I'm not a morning person.
I mean, I'm up at 5:30, but I'm in the shower. I'm not in front of the computer, so I don't know. I haven't been able to see it.
Don't you have like a 2-hour commute like everyone else in LA to get to work? You can just listen to it then, right?
I wish I had a job where I could kick back and watch the internet. That would be awesome. Unfortunately, right now, what I'm doing, I'm not able to do that, but maybe one day.
And also on Monday night, you'll see another exciting edition of Horns Huddle on Texas football at the Voice of College Football with Matthew Miller and friends. And you can see Wolverines live on Michigan football at the Voice of College Football Monday night, this week only. And of course, it ends with Trojans Conquest with Tim Prangley from Trojans Wire and Matt Zemek, the editor of Trojans Wire, as they discuss with Mark on the latest of USC football on USC football at the Voice of College Football. And 2 weeks from now is Mother's Day. So what do we do? We check out the merchandise store of the Voice of College Football. We got there's some awesome looking coffee mugs, some t-shirts, a notebook that keeps all your secrets safe. It will keep all of your deepest, darkest secrets safe.
Not anymore, Jackson. You've told everyone where my secrets are now.
I doubt that. But the notebook keeps everyone's secrets safe. The wine glass is awesome. The flag. You got the phone cases, shorts for summertime, slides, the blue jean jacket, the visors, polo shirts, hoodies, pullovers, jigsaw puzzles, button shirts, socks, gym bags, mouse pad, backpack, trucker cap, dog bowls, distressed dad hat, especially for Father's Day coming soon. Several weeks from now, stainless steel water bottle, and a pint glass of beer that has the Voice of College Football logo to where you can show all your friends.
You know, Mark came out with that. He just had released a video today talking about the top 10 out of conference games this year. Did you guys catch that one yet?
I watched a little bit of it. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the chat right now.
It's a good list. But one thing I'd left a comment in is he had Notre Dame, Texas A&M, but he did not have Notre Dame, USC, which I was like, someone please argue that. Explain to me why Texas A&M, Notre Dame, it would be more of a top game than USC, Notre Dame.
Maybe it's that storyline of Riley Leonard versus Mike Elko. I mean, who'd have thought a year ago they'd be going against one another in the Notre Dame Texas A&M game?
Okay, I don't know. I was just curious.
I'm thinking that's why.
I can kind of see that. Maybe also because, of course, USC and Notre Dame play every year, whereas the Notre Dame Texas A&M is kind of unique, a little different, maybe. But also, yeah, the Leonard.
But I mean that's what also makes it a top game, is because it's been a top game for over 100 years. And one thing I wanted to tease Mark about is literally every game except for the Apple Cup and the Civil War are games involving SEC teams. It's like that would have been the only other game I could think of that did not have a team playing an SEC team. It just seemed like the whole list was basic. Well, 9 out of the 11, because there was a tie for Apple Cup and Civil War, but then the rest of them were just basically SEC teams playing, ACC, Big Ten.
Did the
wonder
Ohio
if
State Western Michigan game get on that list?
Which game?
The
Texas,
Ohio State,
Texas, Michigan.
Ohio State, Western Michigan. Did that get on there?
Yeah, I think that made number 2. I think that was number 2, right behind the Texas. Right behind Texas, Michigan was that game. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good one.
All right, let's roll into draft talk quickly.
Oh man, that's a good one.
How do you think that the draft went? I think the first part of the whole, like especially the first round, there weren't too many big surprises. I mean, there were a few.
There was one that you're kind of
it was confusing and questionable to say the least for that franchise. I think we all know exactly what that one is.
The Falcons.
What the hell?
I guess they think they need a quarterback after signing a $100 million contract. Yeah.
I mean, I was looking.
$100 million guaranteed out of $180 million.
Wow.
Oh man, it's funny though because I was looking at a post from Urinating Tree when he was talking about the Falcons, and oh man, where did he have it? I hope he didn't delete it. There it is. So this is what he said. Sign Kirk Cousins to a 4-year mega deal worth $100 million. Face potential serious fines for tampering with Cousins in the signing process. Say screw it and draft Penix 8th overall, ignoring serious needs on defense. Don't alert Kirk Cousins that you're drafting his potential replacement. Peak Falcons moment.
I mean, again, and the $100 million is just the guaranteed part. It's upper of like $180 million. So think that they might have tanked their organization for 4 to 5 years for like $210 to $20 million on one position by drafting. I mean, again, this is not a dig on Penix, but this is a dig on the Atlanta Falcons. To go, what were you doing? Because it's funny, even the GM, the owner looked at the GM going, "We just drafted. Why did we just draft Penix? What are you doing?"
And Penix is 25 years old, you guys. He's 25. So let's say he sits behind. Let's say he sits behind.
24. He's 24. He turns 25 in like a month. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sean. Yeah. So he's 24 and 11 months old, Sean. And so he's 25, and he's by the time the season starts, he'd be well into his 25th year, Sean. And so he's gonna sit behind, let's say, Cousins for 2-3 years. So now he's like 28. I mean, do you guys think he's going to turn around and be traded at some point? I mean, I don't know how you could sit there and have a first round draft pick that's just going to sit on your. And it's not like you don't need help. I mean, it's like, why not? There was some really good offensive linemen available if you want to get yourself a receiver or a really good offensive lineman. But yeah,
the GM of the Falcons must be thinking like 4 years ahead or something. I mean, if it's that, okay. But if you're
listen, I think he's gonna hit the field sooner than people think. He could end the year as the starting quarterback for the Falcons. I mean, I think he can win this job by the end of the year. Here, I mean, then you can criticize the process all you want, and yeah, it looks really ugly and really bad. But the one justification I can come up with here is maybe in the interim period when they signed Cousins to that contract and they made the selection, they came to the opinion that Penix is just a super elite prospect, and he's a potential future MVP candidate. And you have a chance to draft that guy at 8 overall. You don't want him going to another team if you have like that high of an opinion on him at that position.
I think this feels kind of like the Packers when they drafted Jordan Love in 2020. You know, because like when people watched the 2020 draft at the time, Packers fans were basically going, "What the hell?" But then we saw what happened. You know, the Eagles at the time drafted Jalen Hurts. Then again, Eagles fans were thinking, "What's going on here?" So this kind of has like a similar feel to it. Now, I'm not saying, we're not going to see Kirk Cousins after 2024, but I'm just saying it kind of has that Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts feel to it. It could happen.
I've got nothing. I'm just glad to see that my boy Caleb has Roma Dunze to throw to. I think that was pretty cool to see. Other than that, I checked out for about 4 or 5 more rounds.
I hope, because I remember I saw Matt saying that the Bears have an opportunity to get Roma Dunze at 9. And I'll be honest, I was like, I think the Bears saw what Matt had to say, and they were like, let's get him.
It's a good pick. He's a big, fast, athletic guy. I mean, we saw what he did in college. He's gonna be a great receiver in the pros.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun seeing that dynamic duo this season. I just hope that Caleb will have enough weapons in Chicago besides Roma Dunze.
Well, we lost Ben, and I'm dipping out pretty soon here. Just again, didn't plan on being on the show tonight. But
hey guys, let me
Ben,
know.
where'd you go?
How's the audio right now?
Much better. It's got a little bit of a lap, but it's much better than it was a minute ago.
Okay. Glad to hear that.
Jackson, what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on the draft besides Odunze and the Penix situation?
I'll be honest. I really like JJ the Jet Plane McCarthy getting drafted by the Vikings. I thought that was a huge pick right there. Because, I mean, the Vikings in March were thinking, look, we're getting sick and tired of coming up short in the playoffs. Kirk Cousins' era's got to end. So what are we going to do? We're going to look for a quarterback in the 2024 draft. And they got Mr. McCarthy from Michigan. And what's going to help McCarthy is that he's going to have Justin Jefferson at his disposal. That's going to be great right there. I mean, they're just kind of thinking to themselves, Aaron Rodgers is gone. We have an opportunity to take advantage of the NFC North in Minnesota. So it could happen. And I was thinking about the Broncos as well, where they got Bo Nix at QB. Because, I mean, they were obviously sick of the Russell Wilson era. So they went with Nix. And I know Sean Payton was saying he wanted him to be his next QB. But I hope he can succeed in Denver. Because, I mean, ever since the Broncos won the Super Bowl in the 2015 season, they have not been back in the playoffs. They have just not been back in the playoffs. It's just not good for them. And
okay, go. I'm sorry, Jackson. Go ahead.
And I was thinking about also how this season has been the first year since 2016 that the Rams have had a first-round draft pick. And I think the friends of at Florida State football, at the Voice College Football, were definitely happy about this because Jared Verse was drafted by the Rams, and I believe there's another guy at Florida State in the second round.
Yeah, Braden Fisk, West Michigan transfer.
That's the guy.
Yep.
And I know they got Blake Corum as well.
Yep. Excellent pick.
Yeah, because it's just like every time we watch the draft, I know people just kind of quit some of the people just quit watching after the first round, but that's not a good idea. You got to watch the whole thing because that way, when you watch the regular season, you can think to yourself, "Huh, I remember watching this guy." Because there's always a draft steal. There is a hidden gem somewhere, whether it's in the second round, second, third, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. If you think that somebody's a failure because they're not the first round, remember, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well, if you don't watch all of the rounds, Ben, you wouldn't have realized that. Guess who finished second in total draft picks by conferences in 2024?
USC.
No, I mean which conference?
Conference.
Oh, no, the Pac-12.
Yeah, which was pretty amazing. So you right before you blow it up, it starts getting healthy again. Of course, there you go.
I saw a Twitter post saying, "Amazing, the conference that no longer exists had the second most draft picks."
Well, that's why it's amazing that if you get good coaching in a conference, you might actually attract NFL talent. I mean, shocker there. So.
Yeah.
Who would have figured? I do want to say something about the McCarthy selection because I've been a noted critic of McCarthy. I don't know if there's any situation you could appreciate better as a rookie quarterback, a top. He went 10th, right? Yeah, top 10 pick. Going in, you've got the best receiver in football. You've got a number 2 receiver who's a borderline Pro Bowl player, an elite tight end, and an above average offensive line. You've got a head coach who's a quarterback specialist, runs a team that's incredibly well tailored to what you do very well. I mean, this is like an ideal situation for J.J. McCarthy. This is as good as it could get.
What's funny is because I was going to adjust it quickly too because there's of course I know John's going on in the chat about it. The story is there's many reports about it. A week and a half to 2 weeks before the draft, the Vikings and the Patriots tried to trade with the Chargers for Justin Herbert. And of course, Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers are like, you can go screw yourself. We ain't giving you Justin Herbert. I don't know what they would have had to give the Chargers to even get close to getting him out of that contract with them. But they were like, okay, well, I guess we have to go with J.J. McCarthy.
Well, not only just how good Justin Herbert is, the Chargers had to absorb like $70, $80 million that could trade Herbert as well.
Yeah.
So.
His contract is massive. I mean,
yeah.
I just found that to be funny afterwards. It came out draft night. I was like,
Ben, I gotta ask you, what did you think about Jackson Powers Johnson being drafted by the Raiders?
Well, for the Raiders, that's a great get. I mean, he was the top interior lineman as the center. He fell a little farther, I think, than some people thought he would, but still mid-second round. But for a center, that's pretty decent. Oregon players, I think, for the most part, went where I think we thought a lot would go. Maybe I thought Bucky Irving would go a little lower than he did. He went in the 4th round. I thought he was going to be like 5th or 6th for running back, but he went in the 4th. The one that shocked me the most, and I was pissed, but it's sweet, because now the NFL gets to see the Bo to Franklin connection in the NFL, shockingly in Colorado, and those people are not happy about that as Colorado fans. Him falling all the way to the 4th round, that surprised me more than anything. Because I thought he was going to be at least a mid-second rounder, at least.
See, I thought all the Oregon players kind of fell in this draft further than people expected. I mean, at one point, JPJ was sort of a universal first round. Franklin was like, there was about him possibly going in the 1st round for a long time. I mean, the wide receiver this year was absolutely filthy. So somebody was going to fall. Brandon Doyle, I thought he was the 2nd, 3rd round pick. He fell to the 4th too. So I thought all the Oregon players dipped up a little bit more than I thought.
Yeah, it was more the him falling that far, because then at the end of the first round you had like Leggett and stuff going, and people were like, "What?" Even though some of the fans were like, "What?" Like, that's, it was just like. But yeah, the point is there was a bunch of drafted players, and all the teams will get them. And I think I agree with Ralph. I think the Broncos saw it. They traded up to get Troy Franklin in the 4th round. They actually traded up 1 or 2 spots to.
Oh, that's going to be amazing
just to snag 'em.
reunion. Bo Nitz and Troy Franklin. But I've been thinking about the Panthers, because I can't help but feel like the Bills kind of throw them a bone, just like, you know what? You're suffering enough just with David Tepper as your freaking owner, so we're going to let you have our 1st round pick just for this year. And they got Xavier Leggett from South Carolina. And I know that the rest of their draft consists of Jonathan Brooks from Texas in the 2nd round and Jatavion Sanders to start off the 4th round. What's been everybody's take about the Panthers draft process?
I haven't put 3 seconds into that thought. So, matter of fact, this would be a good segue for me to get out of here. Thank you guys. You guys are going to go deeper into this thing that I'm more than interested in being. I do not follow the NFL like you guys do, so I'm going to get out. I just wanted to come in and mess with you guys. All right.
Check out the articles of Tim Prangley at Trojans Wire, and be sure to tune in to tomorrow's editions of Trojans Conquest at USC Football at the Voice of College Football with Mark Rogers, Tim Prangley, and Matt Zimmett from Trojans Wire. Check it out, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great explanation. Where to go? Oh,
what was that?
You're either on the moon or the east side of Toledo. Equal internet speeds. Yeah, it's just a connection with the phone. Yeah. I think that's all it is.
No, we're having some bad weather here too, and I don't have. I've had issues with my laptop, so I'm sorry. I don't want to puncture anybody's ears any more than I already have, and I'm sorry for the connection tonight. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Take care, guys.
All right, Sean.
Sleep well, stay safe, stay away from the pollen.
Bye, guys.
Well, it's the same. I mean, I told these guys here it's supposed to storm in Houston area all week long this week. So I was like, if I disappear, I'll be back. If I don't, that means the power went out or the internet's gone. If I actually just totally drop off the map. And that's the only shit that he has audio problems. My soundboard died literally 15 minutes before the show. I went to turn it on and it just turns right back off. And I was like, well, ain't this gonna be a hell of a show?
Yeah, it's an interesting night, that's for sure.
But I think we have to say that there were not a ton of surprises. Again, definitely Penix was just the shocker financially. I mean, because that could tank a franchise for a couple of drafts, realistically, or financially. But there were, I think most of these teams, it seems to have actually gone after stuff they actually needed, positions, which is important.
Yep.
Yeah,
I got that little Jets helmet. That was the helmet that came in the box a few years back. I got it. I believe it was for my birthday one year. So it's a little something for the office.
Oh. Did we touch upon this? I really apologize to Cole Newhoffen. I butchered that.
There we
So
go.
it is him, with the I heard Viola did some good things. I apologize if we missed that. I was stepped away probably. I didn't know if Tim snagged that in the background there and put it up, but it was still starred, so I want to make sure we give the shout out. Thank you very much, Cole, for that. Yeah, I heard Viola had a really a good day there.
Oh yeah, I mean, our friend Justin Adams was definitely happy about how he performed in this year's spring game. But for a short summary, you can tune in to check out his takes from yesterday's spring post game show. So here it is on the chat.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the Nebraska again. Going back trying to watch every spring game is almost near impossible, especially all the highlights or remembering all the details. But I know there was a comment earlier saying Nebraska had actually had tackling being done, but that caused a couple of injuries, which is unfortunate. And same with Oregon, we had actual tackling, and there were a couple of minor dings. That's going to happen too. It's the off season. People are still going through their training, getting bulk back up and warm back up. It's going to happen. So hopefully everyone recovers. That's the last thing you want to see during a spring game is some drastic injury or something. That's the last thing you want to see during a meaningless game.
But I'm wondering, like, speaking of the Jets, I'm wondering if Jordan Travis is the next QB for the Jets, or if they're just gonna go for a quarterback next year's draft.
All I know is I redraft board every year. If you have a quarterback going to be drafted, every team's like, please, for the love of God, not the Jets. Please, for the love of God, not the Jets. We did it when Herbert got drafted. When Nix was going, I mean, I don't think I even thought the Jets were going to try to go for him, but I was like, oh God, I hope not.
Honestly, I hope Harbaugh can get the Chargers Super Bowl for Herbert's sake. But if Harbaugh can't get the Chargers a Super Bowl, no one will.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but then again, we had our the spring game for Oregon. We had a new Hall of Fame inductee for the Oregon football team Oregon College Football Hall of Fame yesterday for the university, and he's one of three people in the NFL that have 3 rings between 2 or 3 franchises. That's Mr. Kenyon Barner, and he was flashing those rings on the sideline. He's like Garrett Blount. He was didn't have to do like everything for the team, just collects the money and gets the rings.
There you go.
No, just on Kenyon. No, just on Kenyon Barner. We love Kenyon Barner. No, just on Kenyon. But thank you, Cole, for the super chat. I wanted to make sure we touched upon it because I didn't know if we did.
There we go.
Oh yeah, the Buff Fumble, infamous.
Sleep well, Todd Gwynns. Stay safe and stay away from that pollen. Yeah,
but Blount was a moocher though. He was such a goal line. Like everyone else would do 3 downs, he would do the 4th down. So oh God, now we're just on the butt fumble. That's all we're doing now. Thanks for the Jets helmet. Now we're just talking about the butt fumble. It's an iconic play. It's one of those ones where it always shows up in every like highlight video of like the worst plays or most embarrassing plays or disasters.
What about that Hail Mary from Black Friday? Like, oh my God. That was just like good grief.
There are definitely some iconic plays, but the butt fumble is definitely one of those. Just
I just keep thinking about like the Heidi game from 1968, where it's just like people that were watching that game, except for like a few lucky viewers in LA, you know, saw the game until the start of the movie Heidi came on. And, you know, everybody thought, oh, the Jets won. No, they didn't. Raiders won, made a comeback. But luckily, Jets got revenge in the AFL title game. So no worries.
Have a good one, Les. Were there any other major surprises, big gets in the draft? Again, there were just some surprising picks. Like, there were a few, again, where some people fell and some people got picked up instead. It was kind of like, the NFL has their projected rankings of best 300 players available. And you started seeing those hundreds, in the hundreds, like 110, 120 range getting picked before like the 30 and 40s. And you're like, whoa, people are either reaching or they just, they're seeing something,
Well, and I was thinking about how we were all like talking about Cooper DeJean, going into the start of round 2. We're like, where's he gonna go? Fortunately, the Eagles got him, and I got to tell you right now, the NFC East is not happy about going up against the Eagles with Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the end of the first round, again, which again is no disrespect to any of these players or whatever, but if you look statistically and everything that they've done, it's like Ricky Pearsall and Leggett going in the first round. People were like, what? Like, why? And they were just kind of confused. Or hell, I think it was the third round, right? I believe it was. It was the third round. Yeah, the end of the third round. Luke McCaffrey out of Rice. Again, the announcers for the NFL, the broadcast on the NFL Network, were sitting there scratching their head, going, "What is happening right now?" And they were just confused because some of the players that people were picking, they're like, "What?" But nothing too crazy. Were you happy where Alabama players went? Like where they landed in the draft? Not necessarily where they went. I mean, the team you could be like, oh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because like it doesn't matter where you're picked; it matters what you do afterwards.
Well, I'd say it doesn't matter what team you go to. Guess what? If you just perform, you'll get another contract or you'll get picked up by another team and make more money.
That's true.
I'd say the same. Oregon, I was surprised that fourth. Again, it was just Troy Franklin dropping as far as he did. Other than that, the fourth round, the Oregon players just started getting picked off by the NFL teams. Which, fourth round, I thought that was probably where a lot of them would go, fourth, fifth round.
Oh, yeah.
So, not too surprising, other than Troy Franklin. But I won't say there was any major shockers. Again, everyone agrees here. We all knew what it was immediately. It was like, yeah, it was just Penix. That was the only shocker. Not where he went, like in the sense of the draft pick, just to the team that picked him.
Yeah,
that was the only shocker. Was the team that picked him.
I mean, Kirk Cousins, like he may say so publicly that he's fine, but I don't think he's doing fine off air. That I can guarantee.
Oh no! If his agent comes out immediately, it's like, yeah, what the hell? And then you saw the owner on the video look at the GM and go, what did you just do?
Like, well, I was just doing this. I was just doing that. And,
like,
this is for the future. Da, 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 da.
Understandably, but it's like, yeah, that financially could tank something or just waste a complete first round draft pick. You never know. I mean, not because Penix did anything wrong, but maybe, again, Kirk Cousins, who's a very serviceable quarterback. He's shown that over the years.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins, if you're looking for a Super Bowl winning quarterback, he's not your guy. If you're looking to win in the playoffs, he's not your guy. If you're looking to just have a winning record and just be happy with it, then he's your guy.
Yeah, I mean, with Scott, everyone knew Nix was going to go in the first round. Everyone did know that he was going to go in the first round. If he fell out, I think those people would have been a surprise. Going at 12, but again, I listened to Sean Payton and them talk about it, and they said, hey, they called some people and felt what other teams were going to pick. They got it right, and he was sitting there, and they liked him. So they were like, no, he works exactly what we want, and they grabbed him.
True.
Because
I mean, that was no surprise that Nitz was a first rounder, especially with most of the NFL just like saying, hey, we want you. And the Broncos were basically like telling, hey, you're our guy.
Yeah, well, that's too. Keep chopping here. I'm good if I'm getting $100 million guaranteed and not even have to play. I know, right? Could you be the most expensive backup quarterback in NFL history? I mean, Kirk Cousins. There was a stat. How much money has Kirk Cousins made in his NFL career? It is absolutely like astronomical. The amount of money he has made in his career.
Oof.
It's
gotta be under. Oh man, it's gotta be like a lot.
A lot is an understatement. It was something
Like
just
80 million, 90.
Well, no, he's guaranteed here 100. Just this contract. So think of all the years he's been in the NFL. I mean, it's absolutely stupid the amount of money that he has made.
Yeah.
I can't remember the number, so I don't want to say anything and be like way off. But is it
Brown, yeah, that's
what, is it? Oh no, I think it's a lot more than that. Yeah, yeah, I was like, I think he made way more. He's made way more than 281. I was like, I'm pretty sure his last contract was also like 100 mil or something like that, damn near, with the Vikings alone. This man has made so much money. But yeah, if you had to sit on, as the backup and watch Michael Penix just to go, I'm just counting my money, I'd be fine with that. Backup quarterback jobs in the NFL have to be one of the greatest jobs there is.
I mean, yeah, at some point we may just have the countdown, like who are the best agents in the history of sports, just like Kirk Cousins' agent, Bobby Bonilla's agent from the Mets, Sam Bradford's agent. It's just like, oh my God, there's a lot of them. Well, Jimbo Fisher's agent for sure.
The agents, especially to have multiple clients, like high-profile clients, simultaneously. But yeah, I mean, Cousins is he's a very serviceable quarterback. They're not anything against Cousins. It's just he hasn't done it,
Yeah.
But he always does really good at the beginning, like the first 10 games. Then it kind of falls apart for some reason, whether it's the team or just him. But yeah, he has made so much damn money. Ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
One could only dream.
I know John's talking about Nick Foles from the 2017 season. I got to be honest, it kind of feels like the Jim Plunkett of my generation, because it's just like, Jim Plunkett wasn't a starting quarterback, but he was a backup who just happened to win not one but two Super Bowls. He won 1980 against the Eagles and 83 against the Redskins.
Yeah, no, that season where Nick Foles had to step in for Wentz, and the Eagles, all the Eagles were like, we're screwed. And yeah, Nick Foles just went out of his mind, which reminded everyone what he used to be at Arizona. In college days.
I mean, Carson Wentz, unfortunately, has been injury prone in the NFL. And, 2020, I think they realized a year later after 2019 where they, shelled out a huge amount of money, which I think it was like 117 million guaranteed to Carson Wentz in 2019 in that little contract extension they gave him. But then a year later, when they drafted Jalen Hurts, that told me right then and there, they were like, we made a bad call giving Wentz all that money. So let's see how Jalen Hurts does, because I got a feeling we're going to have to go with him as the next QB.
That's why some of these picks that I see these people making, I go, how did you get put in this position to make these decisions, spend all this money? You make a lot of money, and they're just crappy decisions, though. So, because like, I know it's always we say the draft is a kind of a crapshoot. How many number one overall picks have ever really been amazing? Or long term, anyways. Not that many. Not that many.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's see. I mean, Jameis Winston wasn't really all that in the NFL. He was always throwing pick sixes, but he's here and there as a backup.
Yeah, he's still there. I mean, even number two, you can say, okay, like he's still there. I think he will be the Commander's starter this year. But I mean, the overall, you look at what you pay people and the overall success rate. Generally, most people, the better success rate really is probably the late first round, second and third round, and then you get a Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Like then you get a Brock Purdy. But is it Brock Purdy or is it the team around him too? So it's all about putting someone in a successful situation.
True. That's all it takes.
Well, this has been fun.
Yes, it has.
We were going to take this week off, but we decided to talk a little spring game ball, a little NFL draft with everyone this week, which means I get next week off. I like that. I like weekends off. Jackson, any follow-up that you want to talk about with Alabama spring game or Alabama drafts?
Said that the last guy of the NFL draft is a Bama man and he's going to the Jets. And I do wonder if we'll see our guy be a success after being the Mr. Relevant. Jalen Key is his name. Don't know if he'll be a starting safety, but we'll wait and see.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, spring game again. Saw a bunch of guys. Like the one thing I didn't even touch upon in the spring game, we hadn't even seen our last year what was number 2 running back who got injured. He's still nursing injury. We didn't see him yesterday at all. And I'm wondering if he's going to hit the portal after seeing the other running backs play yesterday, because we're still above scholarship spots by like 2 or 3. And that would suck to lose Noah Winnington. But the backup spots are interesting. I draft picks, are they going to start immediately? Are they going to sit a year or two and learn? You don't know. Like, you don't know. Outside again, Troy Franklin dropping. I think that was Denver's win. Everyone else is kind of lost potentially. So, but that's a biased perspective. Just maybe a little bit. Just a little bit. Well, all right. Now LFG, we had one leave the day of the spring game. We had one transfer, so I think we're down to 87 or 88. So we have 2 or 3 more spots that we have to have to go away. Something like that, 2 to 3, maybe 4 at most, but it's hard to say. We have a lot of walk-ons too, so I don't know if they're actually scholarships still or just technically called walk-ons because of that. Anyways, Jackson, where can people follow you online if they want to stalk you? Because you are all over the place.
Well, they can find me on YouTube at Jatson979, Jatson Johnson 979, where I am 180 subs away from the magic number 500. They can also find me on X, where I am just getting closer to 1800. And they can find me on Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908. And they can also find my latest videos of my takeaways from the 2024 NFL Draft of days 1, 2, and 3. And just putting it on the chat right here and now. Ben, where can everybody find you, man?
Too many places. I gotta get the soundboard fixed up or figure out what the hell the problem is with this thing since it decided to die earlier all of a sudden. But you can find me right here on YouTube. Wrong way, I'm dyslexic. Exploring with Ben and Sam. New content coming out. Check us out there for all the fun things. We go live Monday and Thursday nights to hang out with people late night and just chat about anything and everything, usually not sports related. We will be live this Wednesday for the Oregon Live show, and we will be having a special guest YouTuber. They've been talking a lot about Oregon football, so we're going to bring them on to have a nice little conversation. And then, as usual, right here every Sunday night, or, well, not next week, I guess 2 weeks from now. So that would be...
I wonder... One question, though. I wonder if we'll see some more debates about the Canadian government on Exploring with Ben and Sam real soon.
We're going to try to avoid that stuff, but I just let people talk about whatever they want to. It's all good. It's all good. That's why it's called Happy Hour or Late Night Hangout, which hopefully not Happy Hour, but it is. So we will be back here on College Football After Dark, right here on the main channel, May 12th, to discuss, I believe, I might coin flip it, but I'm going to just say Conference USA. We will do the Conference USA.
Oh, wow.
Schedule preview on
May 12th, Mother's Day. Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's Mother's Day, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. That's where I was like, Is it? I was like, May 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna figure this out. We'll figure this out. We'll either do it on Mother's Day or we'll bump it a week if we have to, because people have plans, obviously, on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
But it'll be Conference USA, regardless. You gotta show the love. Conference USA too. And then it'll be the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt.
Best for last.
Oh, yeah. Gotta finish it with a bang. Then we're getting into summertime. So, all right, everyone. Appreciate you being here talking some spring games, some draft talk. Got Tim. We had Sean on, even though he has some connection issues. We did have our guy in Austin earlier, but he was having some connection issues as usual. But if you want to follow the best and get early access to the best content you can, and 365 days a year talking to us and become a member of this panel, like it says in the banner below and in the description of this video, go to Patreon, join MarkRogersTV, or become a YouTube member, and then send Mark an email at the link involved with this video. He will give you the Discord link. You talk to us all year round, and you get to come on the open panels when we have the After Dark show. It's that easy, and it supports the channel. It's that easy. If you don't want to do that, or you can't, because not everyone can, obviously, just hit the like and subscribe button. Helps share the video out, helps promote the video.
Let's get it to 100,000 subs.
There we go. I think by the end of this football season, that should be the goal. 100,000.
There you go.
By the end of this season, that'd be a huge jump, but it's well deserved.
Pop-Tart, play us out.
Did he say pull us out?
I said play us out.
Oh, I was like, that's inappropriate. I should have found it beforehand. There's too many videos. I gotta start deleting some of these from Mark because there's too many, absolutely too many videos in the background here. All right, everyone. You have a good night. We'll see you in either 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Maybe we'll pop up next week even because of Mother's Day and have to take a week off after that. So we'll figure it out in the next day or two. So make sure also hit the notification and watch for the updates in the community page. And yeah, Pop-Tart, please do play us out.
I'm a third-degree Mason.
Oh yeah.
I think that referee's been acting bad.
Well, he's been a bad boy. You can tell that. I really can't wait for next year's Pop-Tart Bowl.